forgot to notify me. Give it a couple seconds. There we go. Yippee! We're here. The pre-stream. The pre-stream pain is over. There we go. Oh, I sussed it. We got there. Had a feeling something would go wrong today. Hey, welcome everybody to a little pre-race chit-chat. I just sort of sit here while we wait for everyone to join. And make funny jokes. Well, Miami, the place where the sunset low, is where we're going to be racing here today. And as we all know from the Will Smith song, that he can't feel a drip on the strip, it's a trip. However, I will warn you today that there is a storm passing here through the UK, and that may affect some of the drivers' internet connections, those in middle to upper regions of the UK. So, we may see some internet dropouts. We may see some people with horrible connections, for our few UK drivers at least. And yeah, there's some other news, but we won't get into that. And of course, every time I only come for 2 days of racing, and every time I come, I wind up staying, because this is the type of town I would spend a few days in. Miami, city who keeps the route blazing, is where we're here today, and it's not too far of a stretch. Miami in America, we have Hollywood there as well. Hollywood, responsible for a lot of blockbuster films, such as Men in Black, which Will Smith starred in, referencing back to my version of the Miami song, and also Star Wars. That is a very long-lasting film series. Will Smith maybe not as long-lasting, but God, it's been hot recently in the UK. It seems like it's Miami here in the UK for the last 2 days. But now it's all thunderstorms. I'm sorry my mic's coming through with some weird interference. I'm going to try and sort that out now. I think it should be a little better. Where's my chat? There's my chat. Hello chat, and welcome to the stream. I won't welcome you to the race yet, because we haven't got everyone yet. Here comes everyone else though. AJ should be inviting the rest of the grid. Hopefully. Once again, we're missing Roy, quite funnily enough, in America. So, for those who aren't aware, from last week, we're missing one McLaren driver. His name is Roy. He'll pop into the stream at some point, when he gets internet connection. And say hello, surely. But no, missing another race due to him being in America, which is quite frankly where we find ourselves today. Kevin Cow's home race, and AJ's as well. Well, not home, country home race. I don't know what individual states that's on. I think AJ is he from Texas? I don't know, because everyone called Texas his home race, but I don't know if that was only because last year Miami was on the calendar. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll ask him. He'll probably be here on the podium today. So, things to recap. I have, actually, not things to recap, something new. I have a little data stats sheet now, which has a bunch of data stats on it, and I can compare driver performance. So if we go over here to AJ, we compare him to who's at the top of the drivers right now? Probably Lazy. If we look at AJ and Lazy, they both competed in 3 races. Lazy has 59 points and AJ has 50, differential of 9 points between them going into this race. The average points per race, Lazy's been averaged out at a 20 and AJ's been averaged out at a 17. Wins, Lazy has 1 win, AJ has nada. Podiums, they both share equal amount of podiums, but for one of those podiums, Lazy is a win. No driver of the day performances, because I don't think we measure that. Unless we do, I can check. 2 pole positions for AJ and none for Lazy. All his 1 win coming from not pole position. AJ has set 1 fastest lap, Lazy's set none. Lazy's beaten AJ 2 times in a race, and AJ has beaten Lazy 1 time. Lazy outqualifies AJ 2 times. AJ outqualifying Lazy 1 time in the 3 races we've had. Neither have retired, and neither of them have received penalties. There's a little point graph as well. Let me check if we track driver of the day. We do track driver of the day. I think we go off what the game says. There's no like voting or anything that occurs. I might change that. I might yell at the owners and be like, "Yo, we need votes. We need votes, I beg." And then, yeah, who knows? Like, voting some people for driver of the day for their best performance, like the Oscars or the Grammys or anything like that. Really, that's what it should be. Anyway, David is not late for once. Can everyone who is here, well, even if you aren't here, but everyone applaud David for being on time. Congrats, David. Thank you for being on time today. Here comes Mike and Lazy. Lazy, championship leader, if I check my statistics correctly. Yes, championship leader by 9 points, followed by AJ and Hamby on 34. 9 points between Lazy and AJ, them being 59-50. Hamby on 34, Burmeister 33. Someone's talking in game chat, so sorry, Mike. We're gonna have to mute your mic there. No, I've got the data sheet, so I should be able to cross-reference those while during the racing today. Fingers crossed. It's pretty tight up in the close, especially in this like mid bit here, from like 9th to 5th. You've got Roy 18, Smidge 23, Unbeaten Sign 25, David 26, Snoopy 27. But I have a feeling that some things are going to change today. I have my little pre-introductory spiel written by not me, because Roy is a very nice person. Voice chat is now suspended, so I can unmute everybody and get rid of those horrible red signs. Yes, there's my little pre-race brief. Very short this time, Roy. No disrespect, don't worry. I understand you're on holiday. But no, we should be able to get racing shortly, people. We are on the hour. I think we're just waiting for the last few drivers to pop on in and say hi. I believe we're expecting 18 or 19. 18 to 19, I believe, is what we're expecting. Fingers crossed, that's what we're getting. So, I should say this, right, as we are no sprint weekend, so it is the full 29 laps, 50% race distance. We have a short qualifying consisting of 18 minutes, and we are on reduced safety cars due to the nature of a street track. Looks like we're still waiting on 2 people, is the update I have just received live from Race Control, also known as AJ Amanda. So we will be waiting a couple of minutes for them to show up. And if they don't show up, I think in 5 to 10 minutes we just go without them. I believe. We have lost a driver. That is very interesting. Right. Let's give you all a show today. Let's hope the drivers, coming off quite a controversial few races, drivers complaining a lot about safety cars and the frequency of them. AJ going out and saying that something needs to be done, and I can confirm that announcements have been put out and people are pushing for a change in the safety car regime. So we'll have to see how that overturns, but the general status put out by Roy was that Due to this being a street track, we're running on reduced anyway, so there is no need to be concerned. Unless it is that disastrous, then we will consider further action on top of the current action we're considering. So, it might be a case that safety cars get turned off for street tracks, or we enable no collisions on the first lap, all possible solutions. Another possible solution is a harsher penalty system, which some may not agree to, but I think AJ wanting change for the safety car, but doesn't want to lean towards a harsher penalty system, if I remember from my interview with him last time, and it looks like we are going to get going, unless someone accidentally fat-fingered the start button, but I believe majority is readied up. But there has been no announcement to say, okay, let's go move on. Because we're still waiting for these two drivers. But it looks like we're going to go without them. They've had 2-3 minutes. Controversial? No, I'm joking. It's just a race starting procedure. Oh, well, okay then. Let's get us officially with the ball rolling. Welcome everybody to round 4 of season 8 of League of MVP. I am your host today, Dave or Cameron. It is fine. You join us here on round 4, as mentioned, on Miami, a street circuit. So today we will be running reduced safety cars, and it is not a sprint weekend, so we will be running an 18-minute qualifying session and a 50% race distance. So this is Roy's little spiel he wrote up for me. The 4th race of the season around Miami. Roy's missing yet another race due to, ironically, still being in the US. Has returned with their 1-2 at Imola. They have. Very true. Securing that 1-2, very important for Haas, bringing them back into the championship fight and the constructors fight. I think they shot up to the top of the constructors after that race. But rumours circulate that George has sorted out a new Wi-Fi router. Could this be Haas's ultimatum end? And should be back in business for Mercedes tonight. Ooh, lazy. I think that was Nandra joining late. But who knows what is going to happen. A few little statistics for you. We've had about 2 safety cars every Grand Prix weekend. We have not yet had a red flag, and I believe we have not had a repeat winner. Winner. There we go. English, work with me today. I believe we have not had a repeat winner. The cloudiness is cloudy, but I always say that, and it never rains. Who are we going down to? Who's the first car out the garage? It's AJ. Of course it's AJ. And let's get the data up for everybody. There's your full track map down at the bottom centre. Everyone on soft tyre compound. And your delta times in top right. So, I'm right on board with AJ. I do think Miami, being a new circuit, the track surface can be difficult. And this corner, especially that AJ is going through now, we see a lot of drivers going wide, losing the car, especially in wet or even the dry, because it's such a greasy track because it's so new. But it is a tricky one to nail, especially a couple corners coming up. With chicane, you can get dogpiled in qualifying if there's a final mad dash for the line, or you can get packed on lap 1 and cause atrocious amounts of incidents, let's be real. So I don't want to say expect a safety car in your first lap, but expect a safety car in your first lap, because I think that's what's going to happen here. This section here is definitely going to cause some accidents on the first lap if we're not careful. One thing that this always reminds me of course, we're in the US, it's tradition. This always reminds me of cars. It's not the deserts like Qatar, which would remind me more of that Radiator Springs thing. So just being in the US, like the highway, it gives me that proper Cars hype, It reminds me of that Disney film Cars. They've already had a yellow flag in Sector 3. It's the 2 Williams Alpines, I think, slowing down there. I think they're the Alpines, it is. But AJ is going on the lap. Here we go, into turn 1. Quite heavy on the brakes, 90 degrees, sometimes can go wide here, does it pretty well, into 2, into 3, got to keep it onto the right-hand side of the track. Then you're going to swoop over to the left for turn 5. Does it pretty well. And then to turn 6, you want to lift off a little bit in that complex there. And you want to lift off about when you hit the curve there. Pretty good. Stays off the rumble strip and stays off the runoff. Going down the straight now, going to get a burst of DRS. That DRS is where the rear wing opens to give it a little bit of extra speed for the aero. For those who may be unaware, going now into a hairpin. I'm pretty sure I would classify that as a hairpin. It's pretty tight. Quite a tricky slow section, on, off throttle, half throttle, quarter throttle, on, off, on. Going now around up here, hit the curbs a bit. You kind of do want to hit the curbs though. There's barely any way to move the car about that. Now down the long, and I mean long straight. Mitch has retired. He has binned it in the wall in that fatal Sector 1 corner going on to straight in Sector 2. I did say that's going to be a killer, and it already has proved to be a little bit wide there from AJ, but it might just be his preferred line, taking it pretty close to the wall. Round the final corner, full throttle, stay off the rumble strip, and it's a 128.161 lap time to beat, and Josh does so with a 127.757. Already a second faster on the preset pace. Here goes David going a 128.067. A few more cars coming down the straight now. That's Team Red 129.009. A Red Bull about to make amends with the line. We see this happen a lot. Burmeister taking a P3 with a 128.096. 330.321. I don't know what those numbers were. I'll be real. Mercedes crossing the line there. I think that was for a flyer, though. I think they came out pretty late. AlphaTauri, Oladino. Quite unsung, AlphaTauri. Haven't really heard of them much this season so far. And it's a 128.863 for Dino. My reaction time was so off there, and Smidge goes just ahead and with a 128.174. Sign for Williams, pretty strong, but yet to see some decent performances, although I think they've both been on the podium, but hey, could do better. There's always better. A 128.129. Goes P4. Qualifying this season, I must say his qualifying stats are probably not looking too hot. Lazy now, one of the forces to be reckoned with in this league, has a chance to stick it on pole early, and Awechi has joined us. I don't think he's been here for a couple races actually. I think this might be his first race in a hot minute, which if so, welcome back Awechi, nice to see you here, man. That or you've been like subconsciously phased out of my timing screen. And yeah, of course, as expected from Lazy, a 127.497, top of the pack currently in that Mercedes. AJ's fallen down quite a bit compared to David. Is AJ not too hot with this track? Kevin Cow going on a flyer now. Still in his debutantes. It is his second race for the league. First performance, pretty solid midfield finish, but wants to be up there in the lower top top third to aid Burmeister in the endeavours of that. Awechi is here for Alfa Romeo, obviously, moving away from Aston Martin, I believe, which is how I always remembered Awechi. It also took me a while to say his name. That's also why I remember him. That was a pretty speedy entrance into the pit lane there, Narmbread. But the pace Narmbread's currently sending to a teammate, 128.166 to a 127.497. Can Mercedes really pull something off today? Like, the Wi-Fi was the issue allegedly, but we know how gamer rage works. People will start blaming the Wi-Fi. People start blaming the controller. People start blaming the wheel. But here goes Kevin Cow, just coming off the main straight now. DRS is now closed, going down around. Ooh, little collision with the wall there. Josh is going back out. Same with Team Red, I believe, and Kevin Cow goes 10th. A 128.592. Jesus. Jens then going down sector 2. There's an Alfa Romeo there of a Wetchy. No, not of a Wetchy, excuse me, of Team Red. Yellow flag sector 2. Just while that pass was happening there, due to a slow moving car going round now, up and around town. I think Snoopy did just set a lap. Yes, he did, of a 128.284, shoving Kevin Cow down to 11th. Let's see what we got going on here. Jens just now moving down off the long straight. Let's see where this puts him. His teammate currently second running. Quite strong from Alpine. Alpine have been quite low down, if I recollect, on their finishing positions. I wish there was an average finishing position strat, but Jens not being up there to support the teammate currently. Sondre is saying McLaren love, but I'm noticing a lack of both McLarens today. I wonder why that is. Roy's in America, and we're missing you, Sondre, I believe. So that is very sad. McLaren not showing up, obviously thinking they're better than the rest of the grid. Although I tell you where they stand in constructors currently, they currently stand 7th. So they can talk the talk, but they cannot walk the walk. There's 2 Mercedes here doing some strats on the straight. I just noticed on the mini map, letting. Who was that? Who's on the lap currently? No one's on the lap, but they're staying very close together, these Mercedes, for a slipstream down the main straight, I would imagine. So they're going to be in each other's wind shafts. And if I had to guess who's getting the tow, it's going to be Nanbred, would be my guess. Warming up the tyres, you can see with the weaving there. I assume Lazy's going to shoot past unless they want to try and give Lazy a better lap time, which I don't really see how that would aid them here, because you would want both teammates up there together. And yeah, they are definitely pulling some team tactics here. We're going to keep an eye on this while I keep an eye on general time. Wetchy yet to set a time, but out on a lap now. I think just going into sector 2, unless he's just approaching the line. Yeah, sector 2. Josh goes fastest in the Alpine, a 127.592. Alpine on top currently, but I have a feeling that's going to change with these Mercedes strategies. So Nanbred in front, faster driver of Lazy behind. I think what they're going to try and do here is, because on paper Lazy is quicker, Lazy's going to catch up to Nanbred and go for an overtake for a little slipstream down either this straight they're approaching now or the next straight, but I assume it's looking to be the next straight. I saw a position move there, AJ going into P2, 127.415. Haas qualifying pretty consistently in that top third, but their race performance really lets them down in some areas. I think their strategy has not worked out the way they wanted, because I think they have an Alpine and missed them now. Yes, they do. They have Josh and missed them. And I think if Nanbred isn't careful here, Nanbred's actually going to give Josh a tow, but Josh is on a cooldown lap, presumably into the pit lane. And if anything, that's dirty air going right into Josh's car. So probably best that Josh stays on that slow lap. And it looks really foggy. I don't know why, but every time it looks foggy. Anyway, 5 minutes 48 left in the session. There's still enough time to go in, change the tires, come back out, do an out lap, do a lap and get back in. But you really want to be the last one to cross the line. Lazy, again, retakes the top. A 127.322 is the current time the other drivers are competing for. David, I'm yet to see anything from. Usually qualifies pretty well, but tumbling down the order as some people are setting newer laps. Smidge going P7, 127.9 1.71. I think we're going to break the 126s if we are keep going at the rate we're currently going at with the time shaving. So let's see what we can convert here. David is, I think, on a double out, so we'll move about. We'll move about. Burmeister, P3 currently. I think might be on the in lap, unless this is a fast lap. Yeah, this isn't in lap. It's a 140. So Lazy's also on an inner process. Jen's on an out. Wants to be up there with Josh, I would imagine. Josh, of course, being a Red Bull driver, few seasons past, back when I used to commentate this league. Well, I still do now, but back before I left and then came back. Of course, we all remember the Imola incident between two Red Bulls. We don't forget the Imola incident. Yeah, that was catastrophic, and the Red Bull curse. Has Red Bull won a race since then? Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna say they haven't, unless they would carry on in Red Bull after I left, which I think he might have actually. He only signed to Haas this season, so who knows? Who knows? I don't know. We'll find out. I need to readjust. Here we go. Let me readjust. Let me readjust my seating arrangement so that I'm not tugging and pulling on the microphone. There we go. I apologize for any sound artifacts you hear during the stream today. I am trying to work with them, would be how I phrase that. Some EDM in the pit lane. Vibe session over. We're back onto the hard cold racing. Giving count in. I think if drivers want one more lap, if they want that last little battle across the line, they got to come in this lap. If they want to try and get that coveted optimal track conditions, as it is said. So Jens, I think, setting a lap here. No, starting a lap. I don't know what happened there. Not much position gain for Jens. Excuse me. That is one on the yawn tally, chat. For those who are new to my commentating, there is such a thing called the yawn tally in the regulations written for this league, which I mind you is a very long document that everyone has to read. There is a section that says I cannot yawn while on commentary more than 3 times, and if I do, I receive a penalty point, just like the drivers. And if I receive enough penalty points, I don't know what happens. I get banned, or I don't know. Well, they can't really make me not commentate because then they just don't have a commentator. But I think I get publicly shamed, I think, is how it went. But it is what it is, Dino. This looks like a fast lap. The lots of the lower grid going out now, which is a mistake that most people make. It seems the lower grid always makes that mistake because you want to realistically be outlast, and that new Wi-Fi router is not helping the driver issues, because that's a 5-place grid penalty to Narmbread for a collision with Jens. I doubt anyone will really be too happy about that. Jens maybe sustaining damage, and Narmbread with the penalty, of course, will lower his starting position on the grid. And oh my god, here come all the drivers. A lot of drivers just invalidating as they hit the line. So Hamby will not be improving this session. And look at them all queuing. Look at them all queuing in this corner. And here they go. They've all been released. And I'm not keeping a track on any individual driver now. I'm just going to flick between a couple shots so you get to see a wide variety of them. But it is proper chaos when it gets to this stage. I think Lazy has timed this to perfection. Lazy the beneficiary here. Last one will be to set a lap. Will Lazy be? We'll get back to him. We'll try and jump through the queue. It's Sign. First one who started a lap. And will be the first one to finish it. Down the straight. There's not really a lot I can say when you're going down the straight other than that Duracell battery engine cover looking very nice, I must say. There you go, around into the final corner with two and into the pit lane. Obviously, yeah, not the best lap there. Unbeaten Sign retires. AJ's near, no, David's pretty near the end. We'll stay on David. That was Smidge going P6 there. David, where does David put himself? P3, is it gonna stick? I don't think it's gonna stick. There's another Williams. It's Hamby's car going back across the line. There's an Aston Martin here of Cammy. Goes P13, doesn't improve. Ferrari of the process. Stays P14. The Bulls and AJ, I think, coming across the line now. The one ball into the pit lane, I think. AJ. Oh no, was that AJ? I can't tell. AJ definitely crossed the line at some point, and Lazy, of course, goes faster. 127.280. Couldn't quite break the 126s. AJ only went P5. Oh, he did cross the line. I just didn't notice it. So what happened was AJ, but not a great qualifying by Bulls. Great qualifying by the Alpine team with one of the cars, the other car being down in P16. But Mercedes, you just can't stop them. Lazy takes, I think, his first pole position of the season, as he did not start on pole for his previous wins at all. So, pole position goes to Lazy, as we're going to recap the starting order. Although, crucially, the other Mercedes of non-bread does have that penalty. So, Lazy does take pole position first this season, I believe. Josh takes second. David third and Haas. Burmeister fourth, AJ fifth. Hamby sixth, Smidge seventh. Snoopy eighth, Kevin Cow ninth, non-bread 10th. Beaten Sign 11th. Alecci 12th. Cammy PS3 P13. Jesus Christ, I'm having a stroke right now. B Progress P14, Dino P15. Jen 16th, Team Red 17th, and Mitch 18th after crashing out on the horrid corner. And Narnbrecht has a 5 position penalty, dropping down to 15th and promoting 11th through 15th up 1 position. Well, welcome everyone who's just joined. I did just see we got about 4 or 5 people just joined. Welcome. You haven't missed the main event. Don't worry, you've joined just in time for the race, which is the best part, in my opinion. And it's well, welcome everybody to the race. It's wet. The drivers are gonna hate this because it's a full wet race. Hopefully, the conditions transfer. Let's see if we can get any live reactions into the Discord. Hold on. Any live reactions coming through in the paddock. Good luck, lads. Be careful into turn 1. I'll cause the safety car. No immediate reactions, it would appear. But this is going to get interesting. And for those joining us for the first time in MvP, welcome. You've joined on maybe a pretty good race for entertainment value for the drivers. This is going to be absolutely horrid. I did allude to the fact earlier that it could be a wet race, and oh my god, the views are spiking. Anyway, 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5. Welcome from Miami, we go green. Lazy gets a pretty good start. Josh goes not too far behind. I gotta try and change all the settings while it all happens. Burmeister gets David off the start. David gets back on Burmeister. They're side by side. They're behind. AJ Hamby side by side as well. Going through intermediate tyre conditions, it would appear. That is what the cars currently have on. Here we go. It's been a right jumbled up on the start of the grid. There's a Ferrari and a Williams having a little bit of fight. Or Snoopy. Snoopy kind of got 2 positions off the start. Pretty good start for Snoopy. There's a car there falling back. Has everyone lived the death corner? Death corner numero uno, I will remind you. The race strategies, possible race strategies. Inters to inters. I think it's going to be a fully wet race, guys. Stay tuned. I don't think this weather will be clearing up anytime soon. AJ has plummeted down the order. Not a great start from AJ in the Haas. Where's the other Haas? Oh, 4th. I just was blind. Lots of people taking undercut there. That Williams, or Sign, I think that was, doing a pretty good job. Let's get a look up here. All that Red Bull Burmeister sliding through the corner complex there. Does pretty well. Any collisions going down. Any collision that Red Bull came out with quite some speed. AlphaTauri, no, everyone's taking it very well. They've all been very well behaved. Team Red seems to have fallen back down the order a little bit, which is unfortunate to see. Team Red, great guy. But I think just been caught up in incident. The Red Bull is gaining on that Alpine there of Josh. Burmeister actually sitting in the top 3 in a lot of races so far. Sign also just climbing their overtake on Smith, which you might have just seen. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Lazy sets the fastest lap time on 1:44.969. Nice. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, and it's a retirement, and it's a full course safety car. I think there may have been a crash on the exit of the straight, and it looks like that is what happened. It is a safety car, and we can all take a chill pill. Oh, we have Team Red there, Mike, coming on the mic for a little bit of second there. Doesn't sound too happy, unfortunately. But he's left the session. Well, let's take a look at the race start, shall we? Lazy and Josh managing to hold the positions. Burmeister manages to get onto David. Hamby manages to get onto AJ. AJ falls down and loses another position out to Snoopy. Snoopy also gaining a position on Sign, I think. No, oh my god, it's so confusing. But anyway, the tyres it's saying for the possible race strategies are inters and wets, which usually says to me this is going to be a full wet. There are puddles on the track. There are visible puddles. In qualifying, in case you missed it, I did mention the fact that this track is super, and I mean super new. Therefore, the tarmac is really, really greasy, and the cars slide a lot, even in normal conditions. So these wet conditions are really treacherous for these cars. Let me just make sure my audio is still cooperating. Test. Perfect. Anyway, back to it, shall we? Look there, Lazy nearly colliding with the wall there, creeping round the corner here, very slowly, very carefully. Dare I say, these conditions, very, very strong for the wet tires. Let's go on board and see what it looks like on board. Is it wet or is it inters? Let's take a look at the tires quickly. See if no, they're all on inters. The game recommends them a tire set to go on before the race, and inters was the recommendation. There doesn't seem to be a lot of spray being picked up. Spray is the water being displaced by the tires from the track and being tossed up into the air, for those unaware. And there seems to be not a lot of it, but that might just be because they're going slow now behind the safety car. It is very hard to tell. The 2 Aston Martins have pitted for new intermediate tyres. That's pretty risky. Pretty risky. Could it pay off? And the fact that they've pitted for intermediates and haven't stuck it out on this compound, does that mean that there's not going to be a change in weather, or does that mean there's going to be a change in weather if the fact that everyone else is staying out on the inters and they think they can make it last? But there's the stoppage. Jen's also making a stop. Might have just been for damage, actually, with a little incident occurring maybe along the straights, it is not uncommon to happen. Snoopy gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Hamby. Snoopy running up quite high. Obviously just getting a little bit of the fender bender treatment. Is Hamby from Snoopy. Being a bit too eager on the throttle. Well, sadly we don't get to see these cars go as fast as they can really go, because I tell you, these cars can go at warp speeds. They could probably be flying through hyperspace and we wouldn't even know. But I digress. The full power of these cars will have to be weighted. They will have to be weighted. English. Don't fail me now. We'll have to wait another day to see these cars' true potential. There we go. We got there. Hallelujah. Praise be the Lord above. Right. How long is this safety car going to be out for? Hopefully, just this lap that we're about to go set on now. There's lap 4 of 29. I don't want another 2 safety car race. Because if we have that, I understand it's wet conditions. So where I would start getting concerned is about the 4 safety car mark, or maybe the 3rd safety car mark. If we get up to about 3, maybe 4, that's where I would be concerned, because I would say if we have 2 per race, and people don't like 2 per race in the dry, I think double that, 4 per race in the wet would be very bad. So, and also because this is a wet race, lap times are going to be longer because the cars are going slower. And let's get a look at this. Sheesh. I love this shot. It's very, very nice. Look at all the cars going round. All 18 of them, because McLaren couldn't be asked to show up. And we go back to our current racing status. And the safety car should be coming in very soon. You can see the drivers, some of them taking to the puddles, actually. To get a heat into to cool down the tyres. I don't know what the tyre temps are currently sitting at there. So I don't know if they're just driving through the puddles, because why not? Yeah, look, that Red Bull taking a very narrow line to hit all those puddles. Which is very, very interesting there. Of Burmeister tyres overheating, possibly? Burmeister, you need to get on the throttle, mate. You're causing a backlog. But I think we should be getting going this lap. We will get the statement about now, as you see Lazy here with the safety car. There we go. Safety car in this lap. Lazy's going to fall back and let the safety car go. Safety car text on the flashing side is green, saying the safety car will pull away. And it is green flag conditions. But for those who are unfamiliar, a safety car comes out when there is an incident. We'll go back into pit lane when the incident has been cleared. And when the pack has all closed up. It is then up to the race leader to control the pace until the racing line and start racing. So Lazy can go full pelt like he is just about to do now. He's got full pelt, but there is still no need for overtaking. Josh really stuck with Lazy off that restart. And Burmeister has seemed to have a little bit of incident, or he's gone into the pit lane. Josh, though, really sticking with Lazy. Lazy's going a bit wide. We'll get a bit of look at this quickly. And there's a Williams there taking a really, really questionable line. Or was that a Ferrari? I could not tell. Red and blue are such similar colours. Haas really struggling in the wet conditions. Don't really seem to be coming to much flavour. But Josh really managing to stick it out with the Mercedes here. We haven't really seen a lot of people challenging Mercedes, and that closing there through the corner. I think Josh is really good at driving in these wet conditions, although Lazy has just gained a massive chunk of time down the straight. Josh definitely a corners driver, Lazy definitely a straight driver. As the grid sort of spaces out a bit. Here we go, unbeaten sign on AJ. Down the inside, and oh my god! There was a little bit of a 3 wide incident there. That we saw them ping-ponging off the walls. And there's been a double overtake on Lazy. Going back down here seems to be where the action's at the minute, because it's all so close. Mark pulling a gap, nice. Roy, good luck to all watching with a bit of delay here, but wet as always around Miami. Yeah, it's a wet race, Roy. Nice to see you here though, Roy. Pleasure you could join us. And pleasure to all 5 of you currently in the stream who are joining us. Nice to see you all here. Today, that is Nanbread gaining that position there on Dino. Is it going to stick? I think it is. Lazy going fastest lap. 141. The track seems to be getting quicker. That or Lazy is just that good in the wet. And Josh has fallen off, sadly. Down to a 1.6 out of DRS. Not that DRS is enabled anyway. But Sign and Williams, they really have it set to W for Wombo, but also W for wet condition driving, because that seems to be their expertise at the minute, because both Hasses have been bogged down the order here. 6 and 9, not completely bogged. Okay, they're drowning, for lack of a better term. But here goes Smidge on Kevin Cow. I think Kevin Cow's actually going to get that back going down the inside here. It's going to be side by side. It's going to look here, going side by side. I think approaching the rear now. Kevin Cow, too good. I think that overtake is signed, sealed, and delivered. Unless we go for a noxious dive bomb, which we should not do in these wet conditions, guys. Snoopy still has that penalty, but oh my god, he has jumped up into 3rd. So that 5-second penalty might be a bit detrimental if you can hold that position off. Oechi, 3-second type penalty for multiple warnings. Sadly for him, the only Alpha Romeo remaining in this race. Meaning we had only 9 teams. So I wonder where the 2 McLaren drivers have gone. Sorry, Roy is here. I have to bring up the fact that McLaren aren't here. Yeah, they're 7th in the championship and need points. Anyway. Our biggest position gain is Sign, Snoopy. I lie. Nanbread and Mitch. I think we have a good... Oh, here we go. There's some chaos happening here. 2 abreast. Jens seems to get ahead, but Process a little bit better. On the exit. Oh, Tokyo Drift from Process there. Very nice. Not intentional. Definitely an accident. Caught a bit of the rumble strip. But did very well to avoid that. Kevin Cow running 8th. Very good. I think definitely improvement on his last position, highest position. The grid seems to be spaced out a bit more now. But I will... Apologies, my eyes just went, like, they started stinging really bad. Here we go. What's this little scrap emerging here? Mitch gonna try and slide down the inside of that AlphaTauri. It doesn't really work, sadly. Is he gonna try it again? No, probably smart through this sector not to pull a sneaky move, because you're down someone's inside and then you're down in the wall the next second around here. And oh my god, look at all those cars. And here goes Dino. No, here goes Mitch on Dino, excuse me. Getting the schmooze done. Dino looking to come back around the outside, but doesn't really emerge. Tries it through the corner, but there's a wall there. Gets the door closed. Good thing about wet racing, because it's so much slower, you can see when the door is closing. Unlike when you're going so fast. Anyway, hello all 5 of you. Welcome to this chaotic race, which is Miami. We're on lap 8 of 29. This is gonna be a long one. Long one. Slap on your seat belts, grab some popcorn, because this one's gonna be a while, I would imagine. Josh still holding off P2, but Lazy's just so far ahead right now, and Snoopy also has the same deficit. Burmeister 140. The track is drying. That or there's a dry line. Let's go on board with someone. Here we go. David's just pulling off an overtake on this Aston Martin. That's been Sunfield. I think that was actually a defense there from David. But let's take a look if we can see a dry line. Going a bit wide does David to cover off an attack. But the attack went down the inside, so I think David there ultimately losing out. I don't see a dry line. The thing is, right, this track is so new that it's so hard even when like there's no rain falling on it, it's still really greasy and slippery. So there will be a dry line, but it's just going to take so long for that dry line to emerge. So the drivers really got to like get displaced in that water. And if they really want a dry line, someone could just voluntarily go out on the wets and like, I don't know, create a dry line safety car, like play a race safety car. Maybe that's what we should have. Roy, I found the solution to the safety car, right? Just have have me race, right? And I just sit at the back of I sit like constantly like last position, right? And then when we get like wet conditions, like they all have to slow down, and then I just sort of like do what the safety car does, go on the wet, create a dry line, and go. That's a beautiful idea. I think that's a great idea. Hey, Burmeister. Yeah, show you what happened to Burmeister. Oh, pitted. I remember now. Pitted right at the safety car restart. Really screwed him over. Well, I love wet races because nothing really happens. I'll be completely real. I can just talk Dino and David in a little bit of a scrap, and Kevin Cow and Nonbread. Racking in the points for Mercedes for once. That's a new sight for most of us. Sorry, Nonbread. I know you're a very chill guy. Dino gets a 3-second time penalty, not going to be helping in the fight against David, but see, David seems to be pulling that gap. So does Kevin Cow, and Kevin Cow is even looking forward. No, excuse me. Alright, I've caught up. What happened to David? Must have missed it. It's called the wet weather, Roy. If your team decided to show up, you would know what happened because it's the wet weather. So yeah, maybe next time McLaren should show up to a race. Just an idea, Roy. But did you miss my pitch about a safety car alternative? I figured out how we can fix the safety car. Right, hear me out. I call it the cam car, right? And unbeknownst to its name, it doesn't have a camera in it. Right, what we do is I constantly 5-second penalty for Burmeister for speeding in the pit lane. I think that might be a retirement. I sit constantly in last position. Called it. I sit constantly in last position, right? And I just sort of sit there. Let the race happen, let the drivers lap me. I guess there's some like hoo-ha in there, but we'll work about it. So when the weather gets really bad, I just back up. All the drivers they like get behind me. I create a dry line or whatever, or I like wait a minute for the accident to be cleared up. Well, the thing is with the accidents, they just clear automatically, so it's not even like that bad. But if it gets like really wet like this, I just put on the full wets, drive a few laps, and then the track has a dry line. It's amazing, unless it's like time for full wets, in which we can just be like mandatory full wet weather, enjoy. And here we go, Kevin Cow, Mitch on Kevin, I think actually, or Kevin on Mitch. I think it's Mitch on Kevin. Mitch does get it done, but Kevin's looking for the switchback. It's not that complicated, Roy. It's not that complicated. It's just like you'll be surprised. It's all inters. There you go. 10 lap hold for some, 8 lap hold for others. People are just pitting. But there you go, Roy. You so wanted to see the tires. But it's nice to see you. How's America? Have you actually been to Miami? Have you been to the Hard Rock State? Have you walked this track? Can we find Roy somewhere in this crowd? Wonder if there'll be a crossover at some point. I don't think so. The race strategy graphic said inters, or inters. No wets or anything. I get that's like really bad graphic. But I think there is no crossover. It doesn't look like the rain has like slowed down. The track is also really greasy, and there's no dry line forming. So I would imagine the drivers would have to stay out on Inters for a while, even afterwards. I've not been to the track, unfortunately. Have you been to Miami though? Have you been to Miami? We need to know. And oh my God, off goes Smidge, off goes AJ. Oh no, off goes AJ. Sign didn't go off. But here we go. Through goes Nambrit! On both of them. Non-bread. Putting the bread in Mercedes right now. Really showing his worth to the team in these wet races. Yeah, but not this week. Next week? George with them double overtake. Yeah, George just absolutely doo-dooed on him. But he's gone wide. Oh no. We might have a through-go sign in a minute if they both go off wide, or AJ could come back. We'll keep an eye on this because it's the closest battle we've got so far, other than Mitch and Smidge, which I've looked at quite a bit. Haas struggling today, and they have. They really have been, Roy. I'll be real. Williams have sort of come to light. Josh has really come to light. Really strong qualifying in the dry, and just managing to stick it out during this wet period as well. Obviously can't catch Lazy. Lazy is just like Max Verstappening right now. But Lazy did get his first pole position in qualifying. Hope that filled you in. Here we go. Nah, bro, a little bit of rear rotation coming out of that corner. He said rotund, which is not the right word. Hello, all 5 of you in the chat. It's nice to see you all here. Hope you're all having a good time watching cars suffer and drive in the wet. That fight of Smidge and Mitch has actually caught up to this fight. So, Mark is unbeatable on the wet. Oh, well. He's just going to Max Verstappen this instead. He's going for the Grand Slam. If he gets the fastest lap, we'll give him the Grand Slam. But right now, I think it's Kevin who has the fastest lap. Or no, it's Burr, I think. Let me check. Hold on. I'm taking away the proper race graphics for a second. No, wait, hold on. Wait. No, it's Seb has the fastest lap. I stand corrected. Also, has Seb missed out a couple of races? Because I swear this is like the first time I've seen him in like at least the last 2 races. Or did he just miss last week? I don't know. I'm tripping. Anyway, go back. Here we go. This is what we want to see. This little fight here. We'll go on board with Mitch, who seems to be getting the move on Smidge. And it seems like Knownbread is at the lead of this little conga line. Welcome to the stream, all 6 of you. We're on board with Mitch, following Smidge, who's had a little bit of rear rotation out the corner. It's going to allow that little bit of advantage. It's going to allow Mitch to slide on past. In the rear is now Mitch. Apologies. Anyway, here we go. What's happening here? I look away for 1 second and the gaps just all open up again. This is so unorthodox. Jens, Cammy, all seem very close. They all seem very close, but they all seem so far apart as well. It's so hard to commentate in the wet, man. It's pure pain and misery. I hate wet races, but they're the funniest things ever. But surprisingly, we've had 1 safety car, and we haven't had another one yet, which is good. Roy, would you agree with me in saying if 2 safety cars concerning in the dry, 4 would be concerning in the wet? Because that's what I sort of said before we got racing. I said if there's a 4 safety cars, then we consider further changes, maybe introduce the cam car system. Okay, that was a pit lane retirement. I was about to say, I don't want to eat my words right now. Well, here we go. Look at this. Go on. AJ here. Ah, bad exit from AJ. You can hear, you see on his wheel, he got a really bad shift out. I think it's going well. All things considered so far today, people are driving well. They are! I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that if there were to be 4 safety cars, which, let's be real, is a probability. All I'm saying is based on recent data, aka the last 3 races, there may have been a chance. These drivers are amazing. They're like the best I've seen in a hot minute. However, when you have AJ in the commentary booth last week saying in his post-race interviews something needs to change, it just goes to show how much I don't know up here and that they know down there because they're the ones doing it. I've never watched this before. Best experience ever. Fair. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I agree. It's been an issue lately. Okay. It has. I mean, you drive the cars, Roy. You would know. I mean, you know the league, Roy. You started it. That's a really bad Joker impression. I'm never doing that again. Anywho, what's occurring? What is occurring? We have non-bread falling behind Hamby, and the other Williams about two seconds behind. But oh my God, Mercedes, non-bread. This could actually be Mercedes' comeback. This could be an utter miracle for Mercedes. I don't know how well non-bread is in the wet. Mitch, former teammate of AJ, about to prove Mitch is greater than AJ. True, actually. Hold on. AJ's getting like obscenely close, actually. Roy, can you tell me about non-bread in the wet? Is he any good? Well, my question's been answered. Oh no, the Wi-Fi! Oh no, the Wi-Fi is taking its toll. This is Mercedes' downfall. Just when things were looking up, double podium for Mercedes, possible 1-2 on the cards. It all goes upside down. Oh no! It's utter shell shock for Mercedes. Mercedes garage are in tears. There's Wi-Fi on the other. Mercedes garage is in tears. The downfall. He's never ever getting this back. Don't mind the childish name of mine. It's Yuki. Hi Yuki. Non-bread. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. He is just falling like a stone. He's crashing and burning. Oh my God. His AI has actually made an overtake and it's gone. Well, Mercedes fans, you're on too much copium anyways. And hopium. Mitch greater than AJ? Kevin Cal and Smidge actually pit. Mitch is greater than AJ at the minute. He just set the fastest lap. And he's actually chasing down Sign. He's looked pretty strong and non-Brett's back. But well, I think the damage has been done. It's not impossible to get back up there in about 10 laps. However, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Did he just leave and join in quicksand? I'm so confused what's happening. What I'm saying is this is, but he can work back from this if he can just get in the car. Hold on. Well, no, when he gets in, because his car will no longer be invisible. I didn't know you could see the player body like through the ghost of the car. That's really funny. Like the driver's slightly more opaque than the car. It's really funny. I never noticed that. Get the popcorn out. DRS enabled. Wait, DRS enabled? I missed that? Wait, did I miss DRS being enabled? I missed something very important. It's dry. We have people on dry tires. Kevin Cow. Oh, actually. This could be massive. Kevin Cow. The softs will last, I think. Low degradation circuit, it's a new track. Actually, I don't know if that's low deg or high deg. If Haas could have called it a bit better, if any team could have called it a bit better, it would have been perfect. But the real question is, does Kevin Cow and the rest of the lower grid now have the jump? And oh my god, it's happening. Oh, the popcorn's out, Roy. I have completely missed something very important because I didn't have my little thing on the top to say the tire icons that each of the drivers are on. I'm so sorry. But it's now dry, but it's still going to be quite treacherous out there. Lazy keeps the lead, but it should be a little bit easier for Josh to catch up. Mediums, I think, might be a bit overkill. But I also think softs might be a bit, like, inconsiderate. Like, you're not going to get to the end of them. So I guess you win some, you lose some. It's up in the air, really. Josh has an extra Verstappen helmet on. We'll quickly change off that. I'm sorry. No. This is very interesting. Kevin Cow. Here we go. Here's some dry races. Snoopy got past Kevin. Oh, it's so hard. I don't know what tire is the best tire. What else is everyone on? Kevin's the only soft runner. Is there enough grip for soft? There's a dry line. There is 200% a dry line. I can see it now. I can see the dry line. Kevin set the fastest lap. But Josh needs the fastest lap for the Grand Slam. Kevin looks fighty. Kevin looks like really fighty on this compound. But David's just gone quicker. But David is a quicker driver, to be fair. But in terms of strategy, I'm looking at that strategy point of view, not from like the ability of the driver. Seb goes faster than David? Huh? Seb supremacy? But Kevin seems racy on this compound. And he seems to be keeping up with drivers that 1 race ago were faster than him. And also, what on earth was Mitch doing? Oh no, 2 sets of 3 abreast. The soft tire going for the inside. Back here, it's a bit more chaotic. Sign gets in front. Never mind. Smidge pulling off a masterclass move there. But here goes the Williams on the inside. Williams is going to have to settle back a bit. Stay single file through here. Don't try anything too dangerous. The Williams tries and looks, fails, goes down, looks for the inside. But it's just a bit too late now. The AlphaTauri's gone. But here goes the Williams with the DRS on. Lazy does get a fastest lap. And AJ goes through as well on Smith. So, the DRS, for people who don't know, because I don't think you've ever seen Formula 1 before. Rear wing open. Make car go fast. Make car go fast, like Mario Kart Mushroom. Make car go faster within certain part of the track when you're 1 second behind the car in front. And for anyone else who's new to Formula 1 for that matter, who tuned into the stream today, we welcome everyone here. It's very cool, very chill, we love it. Mitch could be on for a blinder of a performance here. He might be able to steal a podium. It would be really funny if he could. I don't think I've really talked to Mitch too much. So I would love to talk to him. So and 14 position gain. This man better get driver of the day. That's all I'm saying. If he doesn't, Roy, I don't know who does the results. It's Cammy, I believe. Cammy, I know you watch these back. You better make him driver of the day. Because he's earned that. He's earned that. He's done a fantastic drive, Nick has. But Kevin's also done a strategic masterclass. But Mitch has more position. So, driver of the day. I want to check tires again. Nothing's changed. Why did I check that? Why did I check it? Who knows? Questions unknown that will never be answered. Lazy keeps going faster on that medium compound. The track looks essentially dry. It does. This looks like qualifying conditions. With a little bit of the runoff being a little bit wet, you can definitely see the dry line there. A little white. It looks whiter than the rest of the track. AJ, a 132.625. But look, you can still see how it's still black in some areas, but it's lighter. And that is the line that Lazy is currently following. But there's just a little bit of extra chance you slip on the non-white line. Yeah, you can see it really well here down the straight. That white line, where the spray's all been lifted now. It took a lot longer than normal tracks, which I did say it would. But we actually do have some dry racing on our hands, which means we might get this wrapped up in time for past, which is the scheduled ending time, which we have actually surprisingly managed to do with like 2 safety cars as well. It's a miracle. Anyway, Jens, Dino, and Nanbred. Nanbred hasn't been able to really make the climb back up to form, and Dino really just disrespected that and just said, "Nuh-uh, you're behind me now." And David as well. Oh my God, he plummeted during that safety car, pitting really late onto the slip compounds. Lazy goes faster, even still. That track is drying up like madness. Hamby goes fastest. I think the track is just drying, and the drivers are just getting better. Here goes the Mercedes again. Of Nanbred. Here he goes. Look at that. Oh, little love tap from Dino. Dino says, "Get a move on. You're a Mercedes. You should be fast." I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nanbred. That was uncalled for. I digress. The other Mercedes might score points today, so I can actually use the head-to-head statistic in my interview, and I'm gonna have to speak to Lazy again, which is cool. I like Lazy, very cool lad. Reminds me of another lad who I always used to speak to in this league called David, but then he came P13 in this race, so I never spoke to him again. Can we watch Mitch versus AJ? Of course you can. Where are they? Are they close? Oh God, they're closer than I thought. My bad, Roy. I've been too busy waffling my backside off. Here we go. Rivalry time. AJ and Mitch. Here we go. Let's take a look. There's a rogue Ferrari out in front. It's DRS train time. Mitch, the DRS open. Sign with DRS open. Is Mitch gonna... Oh, takes a double look there. And gets the schmoove. The Williams was really trying to be optimistic with the squeeze through that gap that was closing. But, hey, no damage sustained, I believe. And if it is, it's minor. That Williams is on the gearbox. Gag reflex kicked off of that Aston Martin. But the Aston Martin's now gone through AJ. That is, I think that's defiant. That's defiant. I think AJ's out now of that race. It's going to take him a long time to work back up to the front of that line and stay there. So he's just got to force all the drivers in front of him into a mistake. Unlucky for AJ. Probably won't be able to speak to him today, which is sad. I like AJ. AJ's a good lad. No matter how much disrespect I give him and David, sometimes David making up a position on Jens. And David going to make up a position on Dino as well. David doing bits there fast. You're number 2 for the tally. Yawn tally. David and Jens are still fighting at the back. I might take a quicksy look-see at it, but this queue is a lot more interesting, I believe. Because we have one soft runner in the middle of it, and that intrigues me. But I don't want to give the limelight to just these guys, because there seems to be a lot of fight with Cammy also emerging with David right now. I digress. This is what Roy wants to see, and I know if I change off it, he will fire me. And Cammy has received a penalty in like the last 3 seconds, I think. Here goes sign on Mitch, tried and failed. Trying again down this straight. I think there's a little bit of DRS. Yeah, there is. No avail. Oh, the car's behind AJ. I think gnawing at Kevin's heels there. AJ learning from his mistake. There's a yellow flag. It's into the pit lane. 4 Yens in the Alpine. Is it a retirement? Or is it a change onto the soft compound? Let's take a look. It is a change onto the soft compound. So for those who are unaware, I do explain everything, or I try to explain everything in the stream. For those who are unaware of new viewers, soft compound tires are the grippiest and the fastest. Medium compound tires less grippy, average speed, and they go and they last longer than the soft. Hards last the longest. They are the least grippy, and they're slower. So that's the rough tire, that basic tire rundown for those who may be unaware. Because I've been doing a lot of promoting on the Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of engagement and a lot of conversions actually into the stream. So I always explain it where I can. AJ actually, on the Red Bull, on the soft compound, gets past AJ on the medium compound even, but Kevin with the better grip of the exit. Oh my god, my eye keeps my eye is really bad. AJ doing bits. Currently trying to reclaim to that top of that queue with Mitch, but I think Mitch has just soared off into the distance. At least in perspective to AJ. Lovely helicopter cam footage. Look at this. Sheesh. Mitch running P5. Is this Mitch's highest position, Roy? I don't know. Is he placed higher than this in a Grand Prix? Kevin Cow gets a 3-second time penalty with multiple track limit warnings, and that's going to promote AJ and Smidge. And Ninebread, I think, is just way too far out for this. But AJ's going to get it on track anyway. And he does. And Smidge might also get it on track. No, I think... Ooh. I don't know if that was lag. But that looked a bit weepy from Kevin. I might need to look that back. Stewards may be something that they look into. Highest this season. I don't doubt that. Oh, Sign has slipped all through and gone from distance as well. Gonna cover off from the DRS of Mitch from behind. And does so well. A little bit of ERS burn maybe to get him to there. Right on the gearbox. No avail, sadly. Yeah, side by side though, actually. Sign just better with the racecraft, it would appear. Not that Mitch has no racecraft, I lie actually, because he's just gone in front. But better on the racecraft through that particular corner. AJ's also back in this. By some miracle of God. God obviously felt like Haas were having a rough time recently. And he said, here Haas, have a 1-2. And then here, have a Mitch AJ fight. It's sad I won't be able to speak to either of them after this race, because I really want to know what that whole rivalry is about. So unless Snoopy and someone else crashes out, we'll never know. Commentator's curse is real, people. What is happening here? AJ's gone wide, letting the Williams a little bit of breathing room to try and pull something, and giving Mitch breathing room down the straight, more importantly. Not going to be catching that gap anytime soon. Lap 26 to 29. We're going to be approaching our final lap soon, ladies and gents. Closing stages of the race. We still got this big clump in the midfield we got to keep an eye on. Oh my god, my eye is like killing me. I think I actually have a problem with my eye. because it's happened for like way too long now. I'm gonna go see a doctor. I'm gonna hold myself to that. I'm gonna go see a doctor about my eye because I think it's like really bad. I think I need like eye drops or something. I don't know. Anyway, AJ, giving Mitch a bit too much breathing room down that last street. Going to be changing that, I would imagine. Oh my god! I actually am gonna go see a doctor. This is like really bad. Any doctors in the chat? Any doctors in the chat? My eye hurts and they keep watering a lot for no reason. But here goes AJ gaining a lot of time through that corner. But the thing is, if you gain a lot of time through that corner, you lose it all on the straight. Here you go. Jens is pitting. Could this be retirement? I don't know. Lap 27.29. You might as well just finish it for the stats. Who knows? I might compare you. I'm gonna do like pick a name out of a hat and compare the two drivers on the Instagram. Do go check that out, people. I'm running a little Instagram page for the league, so check that out. Got the same charm as my commentating. A little bit of funny mixed in with a lot of seriousness. Although I think that the seriousness is being drowned out by the funny right now. Mainly because it's the end of the race and I'm tired. Anyhow, AJ, and Sign, and Mitch, and Kevin, and Smidge and Mitch, the head and the caboose of this DRS train. We've looked at AJ quite a lot, but we'll stick with him because he seems to be at like the middle of this queue. It also means that I don't need to touch my controller and get my hands all sweaty. But there's not really a lot. Well, I say that. It's just close, open, close, open, close, open. You gotta force someone into a mistake. That's how you beat DRS things. You gotta force the driver ahead into a mistake, running wide, taking a corner bad, losing your rear on the exit. I'm using up all their ERS prematurely. At which point I could probably check the ERS levels of both the drivers, but I'm too lazy. Speaking of lazy, he's still in first. Oh, AJ on the gearbox. And Sign now on the gearbox of AJ. This is very, very close. Within a couple tenths of these lot. Oh, the Williams taking a bit of a tighter line on the exit there to try and capitalize with any space gain to that hash. There we go. I can speak with English. Come on, DRS. Get him, AJ. He looks down to his right hand side, or left hand side, and gets the move done. And Mitch is there. Not Mitch. Mitch is getting swarmed down by the Williams, which is going to complicate things for Mitch. To keep fighting against that Haas. A little bit of DRS is going to help Mitch here. Right on the gearbox. This is gearbox to gearbox warfare. But it's AJ who comes out in front into the camera. He's going to hold this for one lap to secure some extra points for Haas, which, quite honestly, they need right now. They just got back in to the top, and now they need to stay at the top. Because I don't know if Mercedes will overtake them with lazy, but I think they might. So he needs the points, all the points he can get. And it seems like Mitch has fallen out of DRS range, and AJ's pulled it off. I'm sorry, Roy, but Mitch is not greater than AJ. AJ still takes the minor W, and Sign is now past Mitch. I think Mitch has run out of battery charge, because he's not looking as pacey down the straights anymore. Could Smidge capitalise? No, he's a bit too far back. But wow, I thank you all for joining us here today. Unbeaten Sign has just gotten 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So actually, Mitch is actually going to be right next to AJ on the finishing. But as it has been for the last couple of races, Lazy is going to take the fat W around the circuit today. The circuit of the Hard Rock Stadium, the circuit that is based in Miami. Now we wait for everyone to cross the line. GG, great race, highest this season. Oh, I thought you said highlight this season. And way, Sign drops 2 positions It is AJ 5th, Mitch 6th, Signs 7th. But Hamby, Josh, and Lazy make the podium. So, the favorite, also great stream cam, no problem, Roy. Anytime, you know me. Now it's time for my favorite part of the stream, the witty banter with the drivers. Let me start a party with them now. Who was it? It was Mike. I think it was Mike. No, excuse me, Lazy, Hamby, and Josh Morton. And I will remember Hamby's mic this time. I will remember the microphone. Dino goes fastest. Lazy does not secure the Grand Slam. What's happening here? Jens taking the line slowly. Last car across. We will recap the race results because I've been tabbed out. Mitch gets driver of the day. He deserves it. He deserves it as well. Let that go on his permanent record for the league. I hear the music in the distance, but let's quickly go over your race results before we get the drivers in here, because they will be in here any minute and they're going to hear me reading out numbers and saying names like a donkey. Here's Lazy celebrating on the podium with an Alpine of Josh and Hamby for Williams. Another podium for Williams. Another W for Mercedes and Alpine making an unexpected show up onto that podium today, but a strong performance in qualifying definitely made them deserve that podium. We're going to take a look at it now. Lazy takes P1 today. Josh Morton P2 for Alpine and Hamby P3 for Williams. Snoopy P4, AJ takes P5, Mitch P6, Sign P7, Smidge P8, Kevin Cow P9, Now I'm Bred P10, David P11, Cami P12, Owechi P13, Dino P14, Jens P15, B Process P16, Burmeister P17, and Team Red P18. And the drivers are showing up to my interviews. Hey! Hello, everybody. Hello. Well, welcome back to Lazy's podcast, everyone. But, right, we'll start with the interviews in just a second when I get off the results screen and remember who came third, second, first, and pull up some data tables. Right, here we go. So, third place today went to Hamby. Congratulations on another podium for Williams. How was it out there today with the changing conditions?
I felt better in the dry than the wet, but it was alright.
Oh, actually, Hamby, I just remembered, sorry, Roy's just reminded me in the chat, or hasn't reminded me. If you go into the party for me quickly, and go on to your settings, voice chat settings, and then share your voice and just hit allow. It will make it so that the stream can hear you.
It is on allow. Okay,
cool. I just had to double check that because Roy reminded me the past 2 times you were on the podium and I forgot. But anyway, so yeah, good race from you then. Williams seemed really strong out there in the wet. Is it your preferred conditions or do you still prefer racing in the dry?
I prefer the wet a bit more because it just makes more skill in the dry, but...
Fair, yeah. It takes a lot of skill, and especially around a street track like Miami, and also just Miami in general because it's such a new track. The conditions are all alone are already a bit slippy in terms of the track surface. It's quite tricky and requires a bit of skill, and the fact that you stepped up to that today was really good. And I think your teammate got a penalty right before on like the final lap or so. But I think it's still a double points finish for your team and another podium on the tally as well. Do you still think that there are more things in store for Williams this season?
Yeah, hopefully try and get a win this year, but...
And you're currently sitting third in the championship as well, and only 1 point off Mercedes. So it is looking pretty pretty good for you guys, admittedly. Of course, after today, that might change a bit because Haas have had another stinker, but but it's great to see that there is a third force trying to step up here in between this fight between Haas and Mercedes. But yes, no. Congrats. I mean, I don't really have much to say, really, about your performance other than it was a great drive. Congratulations. Strong finish. So unless you have anything for me or anything for the stream, then I wish you the best on your celebrations.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Okay. Well, it's nice speaking to you again, mate. Congratulations on another podium for Williams, and a very important as always for the points and keeping you in that top of that constructors. And also, actually, quickly before you go, in the drivers as well. You're currently third in the drivers as well. Quite far off AJ and Lazy, but you can catch him. But no, looking very strong, Hamby. So congratulations, and I hope you enjoy your celebration. Moving on to second place then, which I believe, Joshua Morton. Are you here?
Very good.
I did not expect you to see you up here ever since the Imola incident.
Don't talk about that.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up at least once.
Never. No.
How was your race from your perspective?
It was tricky. It was fun. I enjoy racing in the rain, but Mark was stupid, as always.
A really strong qualifying as well. From
yeah, I was up a 10th and a half, and then I invalidated.
So you think you could have gotten Lazy then?
Yeah, but he would have got me in the race anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean it's still a really strong performance, and putting some good points onto Alpine console can put you in a pretty good place constructors wise and also drivers wise. You're currently sitting on, where are you in my driver's standings?
P13.
Yes, you are. That will project you probably into like the lower top 10, which is a pretty good start.
Me and Jens have been really unlucky so far this season.
Yeah, where do you feel like your team and you shine the most? What style of tracks and what sort of conditions?
Honestly, for me, fast tracks. For Jens, I have no idea.
Wet, dry, transitioning?
Bit mixed. Transitioning, yeah, probably.
Bit of dry, bit of wet. Never hurt no one. But no, yeah, no, I don't really have much to say. It's just a lot of great drives today, and there wasn't really a lot of drama because there was only one safety car today, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was expecting about 4 or 5.
You have any comment on last week we had AJ come in here saying the safety car rule needs changing? Do you have any opinion on that?
Well, I do kind of agree, to be honest. I don't want 4 or 5 safety cars in a race. And especially with the safety car on reduced this weekend, it was still not the best.
Yeah, fair. Do you think putting it permanently on reduced might be a step in the right direction?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
I'm just asking everyone's opinions on this. It's like a rule change, you know. But no, I mean, I haven't got much else to say other than it was a really good performance from Alpine and from you especially. So congratulations. Enjoy the pizza and go celebrate. You can stick around or you can leave, unless you have any words for the stream quickly.
No, just thank you.
Okay. Well done, mate. Congratulations. And then the host of the podcast, Lazy, welcome back again.
It's good to be back.
Another win. I think this is your first win from pole position. I think it's your first pole position.
I believe it is. Second pole position. I think I had one in Mexico. Back.
So yeah, no, it's your first pole. Mike Cup, excuse me. First pole of the season and your first win from pole. You have more. I think you have more wins from AJ pole positions than you do your own pole positions. So
an interesting stat.
Yeah, but how was your race? How was the race? Transitioning conditions, was it tricky for you? But you did seem very dominant in that race.
I mean, I felt fantastic, and as you said, dominant. Like for me, I really love driving in the wet. I feel fantastic in it.
It's slow and methodical.
Yeah. Obviously you have different levels of grip on different parts of the track as well, so like making those adjustments, and then obviously when the conditions change over to the dry, you have to really hit that pit window in the right time. And I think I backed myself to do that most of the time. Today it was pretty simple, but sometimes can be tricky. And then the dry was.
I completely missed the pit. I completely missed the pit window. I didn't even realize it happened.
Oh well.
It caught me by complete surprise. But
nothing too interesting happened there anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's not really a lot I can say during a race. Oh, it's raining. Oh, here's an overtake. And like, I guess that's coming from like a past race history of about 2-3 safety cars per race. But it shouldn't really be like that. And how do you, like? I know I've probably asked you already, but how do you feel that went today in terms of safety cars? Would it be a step in the right direction with the reduced safety cars?
I think today was much better in terms of safety cars. Like one safety car in the wet, I don't think that's bad at all. You can understand it's wet conditions, first few laps, it can happen. But what you don't want is several safety cars over the course of an entire race. It's just wrong. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think taking it down to reduce, I think is in the right direction at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if 2 safety cars in the dry is like too much, I'd say about 4 or 3 in the wet would be too bad. Yeah. But we only got 1, which was very surprising.
Yeah, considering when we done pre-season, we got like 6.
No, props to all the drivers for keeping that clean. So if we take a look at the hard data, due to AJ's misfortune, and pretty poor performance today in terms of where he's been placing recently, you are going to get quite a lead on him. In terms of Mercedes, you might jump Haas again. I don't know. I think you should, if my rough maths is correct, or very close to. Although your teammate, with the Wi-Fi issues again, disconnecting, presumably fixed, but to no avail.
I mean, there's definitely been an improvement on the connection side. Just unfortunate whatever's happened on the disconnect today.
Got up to P5, and I was like, "This is the comeback for Mercedes." And then, as I say that, he disconnects. So.
Come on, you cursed him.
Yeah, I told you, commentators curse as real people. But no. Yeah. Well, congratulations on the W as always. Nice seeing your podcasty. Have you got anything to say to the 10 viewers in chat? Also, I don't know why everyone has just joined now. This is the end of the race and the interviews, but hello everyone nonetheless.
Well, I mean, I hope they enjoy the race and just enjoy the rest of your night, really. Not too much to say other than that.
Fair. Well, it's nice talking to you, Lazy. Congrats on the race win. And I'll probably see you next week for the next episode of the podcast.
Hopefully.
Actually, what is the track next week?
Monza.
I'll see you then.
I do enjoy Monza, so...
yeah, that's what I thought. Get out of here.
Alright, well, enjoy your night.
Enjoy your evening. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Absolute pleasure hosting as always. I hope you all enjoyed. If you are interested in this, because I know a lot of you joined towards the end, please join us at 7 o'clock GMT right here on this YouTube channel next week, racing around Monza, Temple of Speed, people. Come on, tell me that isn't exciting. But I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next week. Actually, I might not see you next week. I might see you next week. And if there's not a stream next week, you can blame me because I will be racing cars. But I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of your days. And I'll see you all maybe next week. If not, 2 weeks' time if it's not the week break. I don't think it is. But have a good one, guys.